Welcome to our final chapter. We'll recap the challenges and successes of documenting Rajasthan's traditional plant knowledge, outline strategies to overcome barriers, and look ahead to the role of ethnobotany in sustainable development. During fieldwork, researchers faced seven major hurdles. Community members were often wary of outsiders and reluctant to share sacred knowledge. Centuries of oral transmission risked data loss. Pinpointing true knowledge holders was difficult. Local dialect names didn't always map to Latin taxonomy. Healers feared commercial exploitation. Younger generations were moving to cities, breaking the chain of transmission, and even when names were shared, matching them to scientific nomenclature proved challenging. To tackle these issues, survey teams spent time building genuine trust, guaranteed informants that plant use wouldn't be commercialized, held community meetings, home visits, and live demos, organized local scouting contests with small prizes to spark participation, leveraged bioinformatics tools for accurate record keeping, and advocated for livelihood improvements so elders and youth alike saw value in preserving their plant heritage. Despite these challenges, our work confirmed that Rajasthan's tribal pharmacopoeia is a treasure trove for new drug discovery, underpinned by living conservation systems like sacred groves. Traditional healers provide complementary therapies to millions, and as WHO estimates, 80% of the world relies on plant-based medicines. To meet rising global demand without depleting wild stocks, we must scale sustainable cultivation and supply chains. Ethnobotany today stands as the bridge linking millennia-old wisdom with tomorrow's sustainable development. Looking ahead, priorities include developing commercial plantations for over-harvested species, establishing community-run nurseries and seed banks, fostering partnerships between tribal experts and phytochemical labs, enacting policies that ensure fair benefit sharing, engaging youth via school-based ethnobotany programs, and designing agroforestry systems resilient to climate change. On the conservation front, we must reinforce sacred groves as in situ sanctuaries, expand joint forest management agreements with local councils, invest in ex situ collections, from botanical gardens to cryopreservation, and implement community-led monitoring of harvest levels to prevent overexploitation. Beyond ecology, these efforts bolster tribal identity, create new income through non-timber forest products, preserve endangered dialects and rituals, and elevate Rajasthan's plant wisdom to global platforms like UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage List. You can help by returning documented findings to villages, supporting fair trade herbal cooperatives, funding ethnobotanical research, and when you visit Rajasthan, seeking out and respecting its sacred groves. To recap, capturing tribal plant wisdom before it vanishes is urgent, ethical, trust-based engagement is non-negotiable, true conservation unites ecology with livelihood, and our future hinges on empowering youth and enacting supportive policies. Chapter 9 concludes our exploration of Rajasthan's ethnobotany by summarizing hurdles like safeguarding oral tribal knowledge and matching local names to scientific taxonomy, and solutions including trust building, ethical consent, and digital data tools. We've seen that tribal pharmacopoeias, protected by sacred groves and joint forest management, offer invaluable leads for drug discovery and sustainable livelihoods. Moving forward, we must scale community nurseries, secure benefit sharing policies, engage youth in ethnobotany education, and bolster both in situ and ex situ conservation. These efforts strengthen tribal identity, preserve cultural rituals, and ensure Rajasthan's plant heritage thrives. You can contribute by sharing findings with villages, backing fair trade herbal products, and respecting sacred groves.